Hey everyone, Adam Retro Moments here, and welcome to another beautiful day in Nagoya. And today we are going to take a look at Japan's biggest retro game store, which most of you probably already know at this point, and it's called Super Potato. And we do have some of these stores, you know, in the bigger cities in Japan, and today we're gonna go do a price checkup and see if it's actually worth buying stuff there. The stores usually gets the reputation today that it's a tourist trap or just too expensive. It's not possible to buy anything in there anymore because, you know, too many tourists came here and the prices just went up because this was the store that got, you know, famous for buying retro games. But of course that wasn't always the case in the late 90s, early 2000s. A lot of people that traveled to Japan went to Super Potato for their retro gaming fix and bought tons of stuff for very decent prices, I would say. And Super Potato as a store actually has been around since the 60s, which is kind of a shock to a lot of people. But at that point it was just a store in Osaka selling random things, and the owner was basically very interested in games, so he started getting more games into the store, and it wasn't until 93 where he decided that we need to keep all the old games, we need to sell those as well, we need to preserve them. So that was basically when Super Potato became this retro game store as it is today. And this particular store here in Nagoya is actually the one that was most recently built in 2014, I believe. Anyway, when you enter the store, you are greeted with a little section here called the junk section. And you can definitely find some deals in here. We got a DS Lite here for $7, for example. And a DMG Game Boy, $21. And it's probably the screen that's faulty. And wow, look at this. We got a Game Boy Micro here for $72. And honestly, that's not a bad price at all, actually. But then again, you know, probably some issues with the screen, but you know, if you're up to fixing that kind of stuff, then you might as well get a really good deal here. Anyway, going further here, we got the Famicom section, only carts, and going further, we got the glass case with some beautiful games that Super Potato wants to display. Always nice to see the big box Majora's Mask there, and some Hori controllers in transparent and gold colors. And down here we got an unusual Zelda amiibo, I guess, and the Sky Crawlers for the Wii. Definitely a hidden gem, cool game from Namco, a flight game, anime based, I guess. And the Panasonic Q, of course, always cool to see, you know. And even the box with it, that's some unusual stuff, definitely. Virtual Boy games in amazing condition, just like all the games that are in the display case. Super Famicom section, some of the most sought after, rare, uncommon games, I guess you could say. I definitely spent a lot of time, you know, watching this case last time I was here. Because, you know, if the price isn't to your liking, then you can always treat this place as a museum, of course. But that's not to take away from today's mission, which is, of course, to see if we can find any deals in here, if anything's worth buying still. Game Boy Advance for $106, a little too steep in my opinion. But then again, the Game Boy and the handhelds are still pretty popular in Japan. I still see Japanese people going on trains, you know, having a Game Boy with them. It does happen, actually. So I'm not surprised that the prices have been steadily rising over the years. And here we have the Super Famicom section for loose carts. And yeah, just because I said that, now some Japanese people looking at the Game Boy Colors here. I'm telling you, it's still very popular here. And on the other side here we got some consoles, of course. The orange GameCube, $59, pretty good, only released in Japan. And the gold N64, I got one of those left here. and amazing condition actually. Wow, $92. Honestly, not that bad actually. I know you used to find them even cheaper, but you know, for today's standards, it's not that bad. And we got even a SIB one here, $300, and a regular N64 console in its box, 120, which is okay-ish, I guess. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. I would love to, you know, hear what you all have to say about these prices. And now they left this section, so I can show you guys. $59 for a DMG, and the Game Boy Light only released in Japan, $120. Some accessories here, and the Super Famicom section for complete in box or boxed. And these are of course gonna be your regular titles, Mario games, etc. And let's take a little overview of the store here. Looks amazing, don't you guys think that? Yeah. And halfway through the store you can actually find a museum part of the store. So yeah, some very interesting items here, you know, signed by various people in the scene, and some very uncommon things, you know, that were released in very few quantities. So of course that's not for sale. That's what they like to keep. As I told you earlier, you know, the owner is a big fan of video games and video game history, so yeah, obviously that's gonna be for his little collection, I guess. Anyway, continuing here, we got some display boxes for consoles. Looks pretty cool. Some great consoles, and Ghosts and Ghosts poster there. But now we are on the upper floor, where there's less of Nintendo stuff and more of the other systems. Starting off with the Neo Geo AES. We got a Fatal Fury Special for $35. One of the most common games for the system, but still pretty good price actually. It's definitely going for more in US and Europe. King of the Monsters 2, $156. Amazing arcade beat 'em up fighting game. Definitely check that one out, guys. And King of the Fighters 98, the best KOF game in my opinion. Balanced and perfect, amazing backgrounds, characters, everything is there. And talking about the good games, Last Blade. If you're a big fan of Samurai Showdown, you should definitely check that one out, it's amazing. Super Sidekicks, we got also Raga here, $356. And also another one of my personal favorites here, Fatal Fury Real Bout Special. Also an incredible fighting game that holds up really well today. And the graphics is amazing as well. Love the artwork and the overall sprite work in that game. And let's see, anything else here that we should take a look at? Most of the common titles here, of course, for Neo Geo at least. Metal Slug for the Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket here, $84, and that's is that an okay price? I don't know. Let me know. I think that that is, you know, right above the price that it goes for. I got mine for like $40, but that was a while ago. You know, those prices are long gone. Some rare Saturn games here, of course, and the Mega Jet, you know, that was used to play Sega Mega Drive portably for $701. And Rage of the Dragons only cart, $987. I don't know many people who collects loose cards for Neo Geo AES. It's kind of like, you know, the same with Mega Drive and Genesis, you know, you want that stuff complete, you know, when it came in the hard cases. And yeah, some amazing titles in here, of course. Garou Mark of the Wolves is still sitting in here, and last time I filmed this place, I think it was, you know, a lower price for it. So yeah, it's getting harder to find, and Super Potato probably wants to kind of low-key still have it, you know, in the display case here. Neo Geo Pocket Color, 141. That's actually a pretty good price, I think. Fighting Stick Neo 2, $43. That's definitely a good price, you know. On eBay they can go for double easily. And the OG Neo Geo AES stick here for $43. Same goes for that. That's actually a good price in my opinion. I would buy that. I would also buy this, $49 Neo Geo CD stick here in its box. Good condition, you know. Yeah, that's actually, you know, some good prices. And of course a boxed OG stick here for $72. Definitely a good deal. But my take on this is probably because most people that go here are always looking for the Nintendo stuff, you know, tourists coming here. The Neo Geo collectors are very far and few in comparison, you know. An AES console, $3,200 US. It's expensive, that's for sure, it is. PC Engine console, $65, definitely much better. But Core Graphics, which is a little bit better, $108. That one has stock AV cables with it, which the first model didn't have. And here is the first model on screen, with a screen actually. But I didn't see any price tag on that. Sega SG-1000 Model 2, $93. That's a system that you don't see very often. And a complete in-box Game Gear for $181. I've never had a Game Gear, so not really sure about those prices, so let me know in the comments. Also, should I even get a Game Gear? You know, it's never been anything that I've been remotely interested in, but let me know if there are some hidden gems or if I should get a Game Gear in the future. Anyway, going further here, we have some Dreamcast games and Saturn right before that. So let's see if we can find some cool Saturn games here. Some of the titles that I've been looking for is actually a Gunbird here. Amazing shooter, $58. That sounds like a fair deal to me. So far, I don't know exactly what it goes for, but it sounds good to me. And here we have the awesome Guardian Heroes, which is a game that I picked up in the last video for $32. So yeah, that was definitely a bit way over the limit in my opinion. And not to forget In the Hunt there, which is an amazing game made by the people who made Metal Slug. Definitely worth buying and playing and collecting. And some more Saturn games here for various prices. $5 for Virtual Fighter 2. I know it's a common game, but you know, if you don't have it, you know, and you feel like playing some fighting games on the Saturn, it's just easy to pick it up like that. And here's a display case for some PS2 games, rare ones, Outrun there, really getting up in price, pretty crazy. We're not really gonna focus on the PS2 because it's still, you know, fairly common, and most of the games here are gonna be pretty cheap. Pretty similar prices to hardoff, I would say. But here we got the PS1, one of my favorite systems. And there are enough games to keep finding new ones, and here's one called Crime Crackers, only released in Japan. FPS game with RPG elements, I would say, pretty cool. And Crisis City, another action-oriented game. Not the best, but you know, if you played everything else and collected everything else, you know, I why not check it out? It's not amazing, but it's, you know, pretty cool time capsule to go back to and experience those games. You know, even if they're bad, they're still gonna, you know, be somewhat interesting, at least to me. But you know, everyone's different. But here, my friends, we definitely found a cool piece. Metal Gear Solid Premium Pack for $58. How often do you even see that? And even if you go to hardoff and bookoff, would you actually find that? I don't think so. And $58, yeah, I could probably pick it up. But then again, you know, if it's cheaper on eBay, why would I pick it up? That's true. But then again, it's, you know, you get to buy it right off the shelf here, and can take a look at the condition, etc. Anyway, moving into the Dreamcast games here, we got US Shenmue, which is English Shenmue released in Japan. Yeah, that actually happened. And Psychic Force, pretty cool fighting game in the air actually. Outrigger, a cool action game that I tried briefly, just a few minutes, a few days ago actually. It's also pretty cool to go back to Dreamcast and experience those games, in my opinion, even if they're not amazing. And yeah, here's some leftovers. The corner, they put all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't call it a junk section, but you know, it's the stuff that didn't get a special spot in the store, I guess. It used to be a junk section for hardware there, but I think they moved like everything downstairs now, so let's take a closer look at the junk section there later before finishing this store. And here's a game that I always pick up, Thunder Force 4 for $92, 14,000 yen. I actually bought that one for 9,000 yen, I believe, in Meikoya, which is a store right beside this Super Potato store. And yeah, honestly, one of the best shooters ever. If you don't know it, you better check it out. Ghosts and Ghosts. We got Outrunners, which is a outrun game that I've never played actually. So let me know if it's any good in the comment section. Alien Storm, another beat 'em up. And here's an awesome game. Oh, Golden Axe 2, $36. That sounds pretty good to me. You know, not knowing exactly what it's worth, but $36 for Golden Axe 2, yeah, I would buy that. Why not? Would you? And let's see, Tatsujin, $71. But yeah, you know, Mega Drive games are getting harder to find now. I feel like I've said that a million times, but it's really getting harder to find. You know, sometimes when I go to hardoff or bookoff, you just find a few of them, like 7, 8, you know, and that's it. So it's cool to see that Super Potato still have a full stock of Mega Drive games. And yeah, I guess that's about it for this upper section of the Super Potato. So let's go down, check out some more stuff before we finish off for today. I want to go through more of the junk section, because I know that you guys are really into the junk section, and I am as well. So yeah, let's take a closer look at that now.
Okay, my friends, get ready for the junk section.
Okay, so here we are once again in the junk section, and let's dig into the blue bins here on the floor, because I already see some cool stuff. And the first thing I see in here is of course the Namco GunCon for less than $1. Not sure what's wrong with it, doesn't say anything either. And what's special about this, you might wonder, and that's actually the color. That it's black. It wasn't released anywhere else on the planet, only in Japan. And a Sega Game Gear for $43. And yeah, seems like the usual problem. Some issues with the screen. And a Switch release of the GameCube controller, because the Smash Bros players need to you know, be able to play accordingly. And a PSP CIB, $36. Interesting. That color is not that common, right? I think so, at least. And what's down here? Ooh, the PC Engine with the CD attachment, $51. Crazy yellowed, but you know, it's definitely possible to restore that to its original form. But the CD player probably doesn't work, I would guess. And look at this, Neo Geo CD arcade stick for $21. No notes on it, but $21, yeah, it looks pretty good. That's also something I could imagine buying, but I already have 2 of those, of course. And PS2 controller, $3, yeah, I wouldn't expect anything else of that. and a Nintendo DS for 14, a DSi even. $14. Almost worth it just for the box, or what do you guys say? What do we have down here? Some third-party controller. And wow, the Saturn stick for $6. Oh wow, that's pretty good actually. Even if it's faulty, you know, it could just be a button, you know, and just, you know, opening it up, cleaning it, that could be enough. It usually is for the most part with that kind of stuff, in my opinion, or in my experience. A Wonder Swan for $10 and a DMG Game Boy $21. We got the Donkey Kong Game & Watch for $21 and another DSi but without the box for $7. So yeah, guys, let me know, is this a golden opportunity, a treasure trove here, or is it just a trap? Yeah, or, you know, as it says, junk basically. And of course some games, most of them missing the case or artwork or something like that. So yeah, you can definitely find a playable copy here. It's just that it's not gonna have the manual or the case, the original case. But yeah, some OG Xbox stuff up here, and yeah, doesn't seem to be any interesting titles to me at least. And some more Game & Watches there. And up here we have some more stuff. Oh wow, a DMG Game Boy for $65 with the box. And that's almost worth buying for the box only, right? Because you don't see that box often, and looks pretty good actually. Even the DMG Game Boy actually looked good, so could definitely be worth buying, you know. But let me know what you think in the comments. I love reading and hearing your opinions, and I answer every comment that I get. Hope you guys like this video, and make sure to give it a like so more people can see this amazing video from Japan. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, because there are tons of amazing videos coming from Japan, I can assure you that. See you the next time.